Hi, this is Joe from Phandroid, and this is our review of the LG V10. The LG V10 is a big phone. I say that about a lot of phones, but the V10 is big in almost every way. Not only does it have a large 5.7-inch display, but it's also kind of thick and heavy. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Some phones feel so fragile that you worry they might crack if you simply set them down wrong. The V10 is not one of those phones. This thing is a tank. It has built-in bumpers for protection, and the back is super grippy so you never accidentally drop it. The design is also sort of tank-like. It's not the most attractive phone I've ever seen, but it's kind of cool in its own way. Let's talk about the display. The 5.7-inch LCD display has 2560 by 1440 resolution, and it looks great, but that's not the display I want to talk about. Right above that display is a second screen. It's only about 2 inches wide and 1/4 of an inch tall, but it can do some really cool things. You can use it for shortcuts to your favorite apps and people, switch between recent apps, control your music, and more. I found the recent apps to be the most useful feature, since it's a little quicker than tapping a multitasking button. It's also cool to have an extra space for when notifications come in. I really like how it shows the date, time, battery, and notifications when the display is off. All the second screen stuff is cool and nifty, but it's not the best thing about the V10. That honor goes to the camera. LG has been doing a bang-up job with cameras lately. The G4 camera was excellent, and the V10 improves upon that. Photos come out crisp with a lot of detail, but the colors might not be to your liking. The colors are more true to life than what you find from most smartphones, so they may look a little dull to you. LG's camera software continues to be well designed and easy to use. If you venture into the Pro mode, you can get some stunning results. You're probably going to want to do that if you take photos in low light. The auto mode doesn't do a great job if there are bright lights in the scene. Powering the V10 is the trusty Snapdragon 808. This is one of the smoothest Android phones I've ever used, which is likely thanks to the 4 GB of RAM. Multitasking is a breeze, and there's not really any lag while navigating the OS. Speaking of the OS, the V10 comes with Android 5.1.1. Not everyone is a fan of LG's Android skin, but I think it's one of the better ones out there, and it should get the update to Marshmallow soon. Battery life has been the higher end of the scale. I can get through the day without needing to plug in for some extra juice before bedtime. That might not seem like a big deal, but compared to a lot of recent phones, it's quite the accomplishment. The V10 is a really nice phone all around. There's really not much to dislike about it. The fingerprint sensor on the back is not very good, and I would definitely prefer the size of the phone to be smaller. I also don't think the second screen is really necessary. There was a time when every Android phone had some sort of weird gimmick, like a folding display or even a secondary display like the V10. Those gimmicks were a way to make a device stand out among the sea of other options. There are a lot of really good Android phones available right now. The V10 doesn't need a gimmick to stand out as one of the best. The second screen is the cherry on top of an already delicious sundae. For the full written review, visit phandroid.com.